Have you ever felt like you were just drifting through life like an NPC? You're stuck in a loop of gaming, scrolling, anime, and worse things. And you're wondering when your filler arc is going to end and when your actual story arc is going to start. I actually used to be right there, living in my mom's basement, trying to escape reality by consuming all of those things I mentioned every chance that I could get. So I'm going to show you exactly how I finally was able to build a life so good, a life that I loved so much that I have no need to escape from it. Oh, and by the way, welcome to Weeb Talk. So guys like you and me look at these anime characters on screen and we're like, we want to be like these guys. We want to live their life. We want to step into their shoes. And there's a reason why we do that. We want to live a life where if we were to watch it as an anime, we would binge it for weeks. That's what I've always associated the meaning of life to be, of living a life that is bingeable on TV. But that is never going to happen unless you have these three things that, in my opinion, are what make my life worth living and enjoying. Pretty much everyone, like Naruto, Edward Elric, Luffy, Itadori, Sung Jin-woo, Goku, everybody's got something that they really want to get out of life. And they know exactly what they want. They know exactly what it is that they are trying to achieve, what it is they want to see in life, how they want to feel. They're very in touch with themselves, and that's what allows them to get started in the right direction. Without this, you're never going to be able to make use of the rest of this video because you're just going to wander around aimlessly like you don't know what you're doing. I used to not know what I was doing. Back in like early high school, early university, what I thought I wanted out of life was to make money, live, and whatever coast. Go work the 9-to-5. Go get that programming job. Go meet somebody, start a family, blah, blah, blah. It sounds like a good life because everybody else is living that life. Now, the end result, being happy and just cruising and just chilling, having fun, is great. But the means to get there, I didn't know what to do. Up until like grade 12 of high school, I genuinely didn't know what I wanted to do for a living. The only thing that I had a mild interest in was in programming. I also had interest in acting too, but I didn't think I was going to turn that into a career anytime soon. And so for me, I had this pressure to go into that, go to university because everybody was going to university, go study hard, get the 9-to-5 job, and start going on this programming career. But like 60 or 70% of the way through, I really just thought, God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because I didn't really enjoy programming as much as I did when I was younger. I didn't enjoy the aspect of trying to find internships and spending times tailoring resumes, putting on my friggin' tie and suit just to go on a virtual camera to basically be a submissive little doll and talk to the interviewers like they have me by the ropes, they have me by a leash, and I have to say the right things or else no job, no food, no life. And it took me far too long to realize the reason why I'm not doing well in this career path is probably because I don't want this career path. I never wanted it in the first place. But the problem was that if I didn't have this career path in the first place, I would be back to nothing. And when I realized that, at that time, you don't want to feel like somebody who has nothing going for them. One of the first aspects of building the life that you don't need to escape from is by working on the self first. So the first thing that you guys need to do is truly figure out what you want without any outside influence. And the anime characters make it look easy. It's really hard to actually figure out what you want from life as a person because you have your parents influencing you, your friends influencing you, people you don't even know, like society is influencing you. Oh, society calls me gay. So my best advice, whether you're young, you're finishing high school, or you're in a career where you feel you're not fulfilled, is to step back from everything, from any influence, from your job, from school, from everybody, and just be with yourself. Sometimes we spend too much time on our screen, too much time with people, that the thoughts in here They don't get the chance to be loud enough. So spending time with yourself, like go like on a walk, on an adventure, like a week. Don't bother with anything. Just think, like, where do I want to go? What do I actually want to do with my life? When I managed to do that, this is when I realized programming, working this job, not for me. I need to try something else. And if you guys are afraid of like, oh, what are my parents gonna think? What are my friends gonna think if I try doing this and try being something different? You can think about it this way. Your friends and parents are going to be dead in 100 years. And let's say your parents, they die before you. So you're trying to get into this job for your parents because it's your parents' dream for you to be successful, climb the corporate ladder or whatever. But it's not your dream and you hate it, okay? Worst case scenario. Now that you've fulfilled their dream, you're 40 or something, they're dead. So not only are you not living your dream, but the people's dream you're living, they're not living. And now you're stuck with this for the rest of your life. Same goes with your friends. This is your life, guys. Decide truly, what do you want to get out of it? Really stop and think. And don't rush into things because someone's like, yes, you should do that. But when it comes to understanding yourself, your true self, and taking care of yourself, it starts with knowing what you want to do. But it doesn't end there. Because the next thing that you want to do for yourself is to take care of yourself physically. That means taking care of your health, taking care of your fitness, taking care of everything. A lot of people think that, oh, I need to start taking care of mental health first, and then I can start getting into that, and getting into physical health. Mental health is tough to tackle, especially if you're just starting out. I've noticed 9 times out of 10, when people start working on their physical health first, mental health just kind of follows through. You guys are no stranger to physical health. You've been watching the channel for a bit, but this is exactly what I help people with: being active, being fit, etc. In fact, I'm helping a new group of 30 people in the next round of the Protagonist Academy. And if you're looking to join, because I can't take everybody, there's a wait list down below. You're gonna be the first to get notified when I open up the new spots. So if you wanna join, check it out. And so once your physical health sorted, then the mental health, the mental self, is what you need to start working on as well. And because you started with the physical, mental's not far off from it. It's not gonna be as difficult because now you've already sort of developed the discipline you needed to, work on your physical self anyway. You've started understanding that you have a need for change. You've been able to create routines for yourself, set time for yourself to work on yourself. I've said self so many times in this video. It's just rinse and repeat, but for your noodle, this thing up here. First things first, doing things like meditation helps with calmness, focus, attentiveness, and just learning to listen to the thoughts in your brain. Second thing is just like going on walks, like morning walks, afternoon walks, just walking. I like walking. I'm basically a dog. It just gives so much mental clarity. It's peaceful. And of course, journaling. Journaling is one of the things that can really help you discover yourself and can really have you have a better outlook on life. When you talk about things that you're grateful for, when you reflect on your own emotions during the day, it makes you a little more self-aware and helps to unpack things. Because you keep things bottled up in there, oopsies, you're gonna explode. I just feel that at the end of the day, that mental health is really learning to be at peace with yourself and your place in the world. Obviously being at peace with who you are, what you want, the body you're living in. But of course your place in the world matters a lot too, which is why we're moving on to the second segment, which is about work. Because every anime protagonist, what they have is something to do, something to work towards. And that all ties into what they want out of life, what they truly want. And without work, a human being will probably go insane. I think that's science, that's real science there. I used to have work, of course. Like I used to work the 9-to-5 job. And I could tell immediately when I was working it, like I hate this because I looked forward to leaving. When you're doing something that you truly like doing, are you looking forward to getting it like super out of the way? Especially when the work is something that's like, for me, and this is just my opinion, like corporate, it makes me feel like I'm just this little guy doing this little thing at this little job, and I'm not really contributing too much to society. I'm just a little cog in the machine. I don't like that feeling. So one of the first things that you'd have to do is find work, good work, that gives yourself meaning. Maybe it is in a corporate space. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's probably a space that you feel you are actually contributing very much to. This is something that truly fulfills you as a person. Like this work energizes you because you know that it's giving you some sense of meaning. For me, Making code for these corporate real estate agents that don't care about the code, they just want it to work. Yeah, not very meaningful for me. But somebody who makes code that saves, like codes pacemakers or something, that's pretty cool. You're saving lives. That's pretty meaningful if that matters to you, and it should, you monster. But the work also needs to be challenging enough where you're inciting growth in yourself. Because if you just stay the same, then all you're doing is repeating things over and over again. Because if you just stay the same, you're staying at the same level, and you don't want to grow, you don't want to go anywhere. Maybe that's your thing, but for me, if I don't grow, like it just feels like the year's gone by and nothing's happened in terms of my skill level, in terms of what I'm able to do. That just doesn't feel right. I like to see growth. I like to see that I'm becoming better. So whatever work you go with, make sure you have goals, ambitious goals that take you in an upwards direction. But again, unless you enjoy being in the same spot, like this is the place that I want to be in, if you are in that position, congratulations, you've won at life. But if you're not, and you feel unfulfilled in life, then having very ambitious goals is a great first step. A big sign that you found work that you actually enjoy is, it goes kind of back to what I said in the beginning, and that's you don't want to put the work down. I was on a call with my editor, who's watching this right now. We were designing some things for the channel, and we were approaching the end of our meeting, and we kept thinking about all the stuff we wanted to do, and we both realized, like, damn, we don't want to leave. We want to keep brainstorming this stuff. We want to keep working on this and that. We don't want to put the work down, but we don't have to, because we got to go to bed and we got to rest, we got to eat. But that's such a good sign, is when you're like, I don't want to put this work down, you found something really nice, really something that is worth working towards. The third thing that you're going to need for the life that is so nice, so good, that you don't even care to scroll, you don't even care to escape it, is a sense of adventure. Now, I used to have, the working on self and the fulfillment of work, but sometimes life still felt like dull and not so fun. That's because I wasn't really moving around, because I kept doing the same routine over and over again, which was fine, but sometimes you just got to get out there and explore new things. Like thinking back to when I was a kid, I loved like seeing new things, like going to new places, like new playground on the street, hell yeah, gonna go climb the monkey bars. Oh shoot, new country just dropped, I gotta see what's up with that. It legit helps to think like a kid, like thinking, like just being genuinely curious about things, being a little spontaneous once in a while. I know that a lot of people, when they don't live the life they want, it's very likely that they've stayed in the same place for a long period of time. So if you're finding that you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to find good work, it would help to just go somewhere else, get a fresh pair of eyes, a fresh pair of ears, and a fresh new brain on what exactly you want to do. Like, go out into the forest that you've never gone into before. Go walk on a conservation hike. Go to a mountaintop and yell at the top of your lungs. Or go to Jamaica. I hear it's nice during the winter. Point is, when you change your environment, it just changes your perspective on everything. You've literally shifted yourself out of the routine that you've been doing over and over again to give yourself time to think, to give yourself a place to just breathe. Last thing I'll say about having adventure, it's not just about going places, it's about also in here too. Humans generally are very creative creatures. And when people are not creative, they become boring, dull adults. It's like the quote goes, you don't stop playing because you grow up. You grow up because you stop playing. Well, I think the same thing applies to being creative. If you stop creating things and you stop having a creative mind, well, then things start to look more dull. You're detraining your brain to be creative, and now you're just living the same routine over and over again. You're not being adventurous, you're not being an explorer in your own life. For me personally, doing stuff like making videos, which is of course creative, but even outside of that, I still play Dungeons and Dragons with my boys. That's very creative. That's very fun. And this could come from many things, like you could do pottery, you could draw, some sort of creative outlet for you that allows you to keep training that brain to think and just be a kid, be playful. Life was more colorful as a kid, so not such a bad idea to go back there. Now, I've probably said a lot in this video, whether or not it made sense to you guys. Maybe you're not going to remember everything because I've talked about like 9 different things. But if there's one particular thing that will allow you to change your life and make you unrecognizable, it would be one particular Japanese rule. If you want to know what that rule is, you can check out this video right over here.